Alright guys, welcome back to another day's video from Farmer Scoobs.
Yeah, as you can tell by the headgear that's on today, we are welding. We are getting our doors fixed. We haven't the roof started yet. The roof is still below there. I'm beginning to dread that job now. But I am tidying away the few bits and pieces, the odds and ends that needed fixing up. I'll just turn the camera around here and give you a look at what we were doing. So before, down here at the bottom, this hinge had broke off, and as I was cleaning it off, you'd see the little pile of crap there on the ground. I noticed that the bottom of the girder had weakened, so there wasn't much point in going welding on a bracket back onto the girder. So what I done was I got a flat bit of steel and ran a flat bit of steel the whole way up to about, where is it, there, and we tack welded it all the way down on a couple of different spots. I have an angled cleat put on the bottom, which I have to bore 2 holes in the concrete, and I'm going to bolt that to the concrete also. I have a new bracket made up for the door that's now welded on, and it's in place. Also, there was a couple of other bits and pieces that needed tidying away. This has been broken off for quite some time, so while I had the welder here today, I got that welder back on. Don't mind my welds are absolute rubbish. I'm not a welder by trade. And we also had this hinge here was broke off, so we just got that welded back on also for that door to be put back up. These are kind of last minute jobs, just to get the place sort of squared away before the cows come in. So I'm going to go and get my drill, and I have to get 2 coach bolts to go down into the ground so that I can get the bottom plate of that fixed away and get that sorted out. So I'm going to crack on and get this done, guys, and I'll bring you back in when we have it finished and I can give you a look at the completed job. Alright guys, we're in the workshop now. Just at the minute I am in the process of finishing off our let's say feeding barrier. You would have seen by now from the start of this video I was fixing the doors. So now we have a bit of 2-inch angle. It's a tad bit on the heavy side, but at the bottom of the feed barrier where we fixed the doors, there was no timber on it. There has been no timber on it for the last couple of years, and what was happening was, when that was the pin we used to put our bull in, and he always had a spot in the pin where he'd go to the toilet, and what was happening was he'd go to the toilet and he'd keep going, and then it started coming out underneath the pass. So basically all I'm doing is I've pre-drilled smaller holes with, let's say, a small bit of the battery drill, and I'm using the bench drill then just to finish these off. Also safety, so that no metal shards catches me in the eyes. It's as simple as you like. So now we have 2 holes on that side, flip it round, and we have 2 holes on that side. Like as I was saying, I'm going to bore 2 holes in the feed barrier at either end, and we're just going to mount them up straight. So the bolting is probably just easier, because we can take it off again further down the road if need be. And look, it's better than welding, because as I was saying the last day in my last video, my welding is definitely not great, but normally if I weld something at the beginning of the winter, it normally lasts the winter. So thumbs up to that. The 10mm bolts, job done, on to the next job. Alright guys, so I'm going to bring you back down. We're going to head back down. I'm going to bring all the stuff. I think I have a G-clamp. We'll need this bad boy sharp enough. We'll give it a go. So let's get moving. So like I said, I'm going to G-clamp the bar on, and I'm just going to pre-drill it. Pre-drill it on one side anyway. I am absolutely brutal. Brutal on drill bits. And that is no word of a lie. But so two 10mm bolts through, washer and a lock nut on this side of the barrier. When we have them, I'll just give you a look. You can see it there. That's what it's going to look like from the shed or from the pin side. Nothing for the animals to catch themselves on. And just from here, these are going to be a tad bit long, but we can grind them down. I don't think they will be needed because they'll catch themselves on nothing really. The only thing really is just round this edge here, just to trim that off. Or just bevel it off so that there's no sharp corners on this edge anyway. Just to bevel it off so that nothing can catch themselves on it. I'm pretty happy enough with how that's going to be. So down here then at the bottom, we'll have our two 6x3s. There'll be one sort of close to the bottom, and the other one I might have that hole in the wrong place, but it doesn't matter if there's a small bit of a gap here. It's just to stop the poop from coming out underneath it. I'll get on with this one down here, and we'll get a 6x3 thrown onto it. There's nothing like one of these Pepsis to knock the sweat out of you. Now guys, finally, after a couple of hours of coming and going to it, I've managed to get a fair decent handle on it now. It looks like an awful lot of steel. Well, it kind of is an awful lot of steel. It might be a tad bit of an overkill, but it'll definitely strengthen it up. We already put this barrier on here because our windlass will probably end up in here, and it stops them from trying to come out through and get stuck. So it's just basically bolted on. I bolted it through the angle and through the feeding barrier itself with some sort of bar, and underneath we put two 6x3s down at the bottom and a bit of 3x2 on top to screw down to just to fill up the gap, and that's going to stop the poop from coming out underneath the feeding barrier, because we are going to give them in we're going to be meal feeding them here with the troughs, and also once they're finished meal feeding we'll just leave in a bit of silage as well, and we can feed them in here in this barrier here. Show you the cleat down at the bottom here. As I was telling you before, so it's basically just a simple angle cleat, two bolts down to the concrete, because the girder has sort of gone porous at the bottom, and we just ran that plate the whole way up to there, and we just sort of tacked it around sides in a few spots and made up a new hinge for the door. So going forward, that should be a good one. There's nothing like one of these Pepsis to knock the sweat out of you. So just with the last couple of days being hectic busy around the place, I decided just to keep bedding up the cabin pin. I'm going to turn on some extra lights. And I just didn't get a chance to get around to cleaning it up. And out these pins was I'd use the David Brown just to make things that small bit quicker, because there's probably around 3 or 4 wheelbarrowfuls of dung in here to be done. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to grab the David Brown, scoop up as much as I can with it, and then just tidy up around the edges then with the wheelbarrow. There's normally about a half a wheelbarrow left. She's mad anxious to get back out to her straw bed. So I'm just going to pop in this camera and we're going to get flat at it. Way more than needed, but when they're coming close to cabin, I like to have them on as much straw as possible. This is some of last year's straw. It was supposed to be chopped, but either it's well matted together or it's not very well chopped. One of the other. And I'm closing the door to spring this hole. That's it, Ted. Now, when we're back to the brush, we're going to stick on our new code. Make sure it's good and tight on its head. Now we're just going to pop her out, get it that she doesn't go back and hit the gate. She's happy out. I'm going to get this red lady out because she wasn't supposed to come in here. So I'm going to be turning her back in a second and she will go back in on the slats for the night and get the other cow settled in because she's bagged up well and she's well softened down at the back. So I'd say we're not a million miles away. So I just want to get her settled in for the night. Does anybody think the same way I think? That if you're ever going starting a job on the farm, I'll always say, I'll go and get the wheelbarrow. Because the wheelbarrow is like the next best thing to a shopping trolley. I'll give you a look at my wheelbarrow today. So, job's a good one. Wheelbarrow can carry anything. And the breeze is getting in the way. So we're going to leave it at that. As always, if you've liked this video, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
You should have the beacons on. It's a necessity.